In the past couple of months, we've covered a variety of topics on this channel, but if you've been a consistent viewer, you may have noticed that one individual in particular seems to repeatedly pop up in conversation, with that person being none other than Clara Sorrenti, better known by her online username, Keffals. Recently, she's faced a significant amount of backlash for her actions, culminating in her briefly privating all her YouTube videos before eventually returning just for her to get in another fight with Keemstar. And now both Some Ordinary Gamers and Willie Mac Show are building up detailed cases against her for what many are deeming to be a final takedown. But to understand how she got to this point, we first have to look at how she gained an audience in the first place. But before we get any further, let's give a brief word to my sponsor. I'm pretty sure every single person watching this right now knows about the power of artificial intelligence, but very few of us are taking advantage of it on a day-to-day basis on our cell phone, which is where Type AI comes into the picture. Powered by the ChatGPT API, Type AI is an iOS keyboard extension app that works seamlessly on any platform or app on your phone. So how can you use this to your benefit? Well, first and foremost, it has best-in-class spelling and grammar correction. On top of that, it will help change the tone of a message if you want something to sound more casual or more formal. If you have a question you need answered on the fly, with a click of a single button, you'll get a response. Let's say you're texting someone that speaks a different language than you. Well, with Type AI, it's able to translate anything you're talking about. If you want a different wording for something you're trying to convey, you could use the paraphrase function so it changes your wording around. And let's say you just simply don't feel like talking to someone. Well, with the AI, it could respond for you. Get Type AI Premium now. Start your free trial by clicking the link in the description. Clara is a transgender Canadian political commentator who rose to prominence in Twitter's leftist sphere. As the story goes, she was inspired to enter the world of online politics after witnessing an uptick in the passing of anti-trans legislation, deciding that she wanted to advocate for progressive political change. She first became popular on Twitter when she would reply to other users and ratio them, with her targets often being conservative or right-wing individuals she disagreed with. This became somewhat of a running meme, and many others within the space began following Clara and retweeting her posts, with Keffals herself garnering thousands of followers. Her presence online was primarily relegated to Twitter and Twitch, with very few outside these communities even knowing who she was or what she did. This would all change after her antics were noticed by the Kiwi Farms community, a website dedicated to documenting lolcows and noteworthy individuals within the online space. While it's usually a good rule of thumb to simply ignore the farms, Keffals took the opposite approach, characterizing them as transphobic bigots that often harassed and doxed innocent people, which of course resulted in the site's users discussing her even further. Keffals also used this as an opportunity to criticize the live streamer Destiny, claiming that he was somehow involved in the consistent harassment she had been receiving. Around August of 2022, she announced an individual had sent a disturbing email to numerous high-profile government officials, resulting in the police raiding her home.
The fact that a fake email led to London Police Services booking me under my dead name reveals the prejudice that many police have towards transgender people.
As a result of this, she would create a GoFundMe page where people could donate money she could use to pursue legal action in an effort to get justice. This would not be the only ordeal she would go through though. After finding a nearby hotel to stay at and posting a picture of her bed on social media, detractors cross-referenced the sheet patterns and tracked the exact hotel she was staying at, sending multiple pizza deliveries to her room. After fleeing to Belfast, Ireland, she would once again be doxxed. Around this time, she also continued to drag Destiny into the discussion, even going so far as to blame him for Kiwi Farms taking notice of her in the first place. This resulted in Destiny creating a manifesto going over what he characterized as dishonest tactics, and firmly denying having any involvement with anyone who had harassed her.
On May 17th, she claimed, "I let my audience mock her genitals. I don't even know what proof I was supposed to provide here. I have never retweeted, liked, nor endorsed any transphobic attacks against her. All forms of transphobia are banned from my chat room and Discord." On July 18th, she claimed I was directing people to Kiwi Farms to harass her with a deceptively cut screenshot.
Much of the blame for the doxing was pinned on Kiwi Farms, with Clara calling for action to be taken against the controversial form. This story got so massive that it was picked up by numerous mainstream news outlets that echoed her sentiments and called for Kiwi Farms to be shut down.
As for the trolls and hate mongers, Sorrenti says she remains undeterred.
I'm not backing down. I know that the work I do is incredibly valuable, and thousands of trans people have told me that. I have people almost every day saying they came out to their families because of me. And if they want me to stop, the next time they better manipulate the police into pulling the trigger.
The forum was eventually taken offline after being dropped by Cloudflare, an anti-DDoS service. And while many news outlets celebrated this as a monumental achievement, claiming that Keffals took down the site, Kiwi Farms is actually still operational to this very day, being easily accessible even from a basic Google search yet again. Regardless, this incident brought Keffals a significant amount of new followers, with her live streaming and uploading videos where she discussed current events and giving her opinion on them. Unfortunately for her, she would eventually lose a significant portion of her new fan base after several incidents that spiraled out of control in the early months of 2023. Ever since the GoFundMe, there were numerous questions about where the $100,000 of donated money for her supposed legal battle had gone, as she had yet to file an official lawsuit against anyone involved despite months having passed. As the questions started to pile up, it was revealed that Keffals had been admitted to rehab and struggled with drug addiction, with some of her detractors accusing her of scamming her audience and spending all of the money on the drugs, which might I add was cocaine laced with meth.
The fact that you are now talking about having this addiction, and it seemingly happened around the time of this GoFundMe situation, did you use the money for drugs? Because if you did, that is fucking insane.
She also came under fire from people who had once supported her due to her conduct. This included allegations of racism, platforming an abuser, as well as using harmful ableist slurs. She had built up a reputation as an extremely progressive person who actively fought against offensive and hateful speech, and her newfound audience quickly turned their backs on her due to these accusations, along with the lack of transparency of the donations. In February of 2023, she lost over 34,000 followers on Twitter and 3,000 subscribers on her main YouTube account. After this, the trans influencer, who at one time was being praised by virtually every mainstream news outlet without question, became relegated to the lesser-known corners of the web. This included feuding with individuals such as Turkey Tom, Augie RFC, Nicholas Diorio, and Willie Mac Show, who are all primarily associated with the commentary community. Each of them has made a video or live stream discussing Claire's controversies, with her in turn doing the same. She wouldn't regain major relevance until a year later due to a situation involving Vosh and his publicized feud with the H3 podcast. As mentioned in the previous video we created about the subject, Vosh accidentally displayed some NSFW artwork that he had downloaded onto his computer during a live stream, with it containing both lolly and horse-related content. In a baffling turn, Keffals interjected herself into the drama, alongside another streamer named Tipster, to defend the folder of illicit imagery. While they claimed this was to help defend their friend Vosh, it ended up just making the controversy 10 times worse. She even went so far as to create an entire video supposedly debunking the criticism being levied against Vosh by the H3 crew, receiving a significant amount of backlash for doing so. Discord messages of her voicing her frustration with the entire ordeal would surface, with Vosh later appearing to apologize to her for the way things panned out in a different exchange. At this point, I don't think it can be argued that her involvement actually made the situation worse, prolonging the drama for days and escalating it even further than before. She would later post a video reflecting on her stance, stating that while she doesn't take back any of her opinions, she recognized that she hadn't made things any easier for those involved.
Hindsight is 2020. If I could go back and just let everything play out without getting involved, obviously I would have. And I don't want to beat myself up that much because I think that my instinct to want to protect my friends when I see them getting attacked is a good one. Like, it shows that I really care about people. Caring about people and wanting to protect people, sometimes that's not always the greatest idea.
Due to the fallout surrounding this, some ordinary gamers made a tweet discussing the possibility of investigating Claire's involvement in the Catboy Ranch. This is in reference to a criticism of her regarding a Discord server where she allegedly encouraged trans minors to try DIY HRT. She has denied many of these accusations over the past couple years, but Muda's tweet certainly renewed interest in the situation. After Keffals joked about it still being available to the public, Muda also went on to state that he was investigating the suspicious circumstances related to her GoFundMe, with all this being dragged into the public eye again because she chose to involve herself in a situation she didn't need to. After this, she claimed she was taking a break from live streaming, with the constant cycle of drama she found herself in seemingly taking a toll on her mental health.
The live streaming environment has made me paranoid because it is a format where people have unlimited access to troll and harass you. And you can only take so much of that before it gets under your skin.
This is not the first time, and it certainly wouldn't be the last, that she claimed that she was done with controversy. In the last video posted on this channel, we discussed the drama surrounding James Somerton, the main target of H-Bomber-Guy's in-depth plagiarism video. After a concerning message was posted to Twitter by Somerton himself, many assumed that he had taken his own life, with it still being unclear if he has actually done so. Keffals of course noted this and decided to create a video discussing the situation, uploading it to her YouTube channel on March 5th, only a day after the incident had come to light. This resulted in some pushback due to the original title of the video implying Somerton had actually killed himself, without there being much evidence to support this other than his initial tweet, though it should be noted she did not make any definitive statements in the video itself. Some took issue with the timing of it. Obviously, there's nothing wrong with covering controversial or sensitive topics, but the speed with which she posted it led many to characterize it as shameless. In response, Keffals pledged to donate the ad revenue she had accumulated from the upload to a trans charity in an effort to appease her critics, before privating all the uploads on her account. This only lasted a few days before she came back swinging, this time taking on none other than Keemstar. The two had had a complicated history, with them even briefly burying the hatchet and seemingly ending their feud, though this of course didn't last. She had a run-in with him during the Vosh situation, with Keem offering for her to come onto the LOLcow podcast, which she of course rejected. Their current beef began after Keem made a tweet at Claire's expense stating, "Just found out Keffals started doing crack because she was fighting with me online. I'm a legend." Keffals would see this and hit back against the mockery, also tweeting, "This is the saddest shit I've ever read. It's even more sad that this man is almost in his mid-40s and has a child." She then posted an exchange between the YouTuber Big Joel and a random Twitter user, where he jokingly advocated for the murder of the controversial Drama Alert host. Keemstar himself would hit back with one of his signature video rants.
This manipulation tactic that you've done for the last couple years is every time you're in a drama, every time that you're getting canceled for something, you try in the middle of your drama to talk shit about Keemstar because so many people hate me. In your mind, you think you're going to manipulate the audience and automatically get support because people don't like me and they're going to forgive you for whatever you've done because you're attacking the big bad Keemstar. How's that working out for you?
Keffals would respond to this as well, mockingly dismissing his criticism of her. She also went on to make another joke about the entire situation, tweeting, "I have talked to Keemstar and have smoked crack, and I would smoke crack over talking to Keemstar any day of the week. Every single crackhead is a more respectable member of society than Keemstar, because at least their drug usage is probably putting some Colombian children through college or something." Hilarious. Another recent drama she has gotten herself into is a reignition of her feud with Willie Mac Show. Roughly a week ago, he created a video titled Keffals, the Worst Activist, Part 1, Misleading and the Lawsuit. This was the first of a two-part series he had announced on his channel, and in it he does an extensive search into the allegations of the missing $100,000, as well as her drama with the Kiwi Farms website.
I never said that I was going to sue the police. I wanted to be very careful with the language that I used because I don't know exactly what the plan is.
Were you being intentionally misleading when you wrote that? Well, I didn't say. It's clearly the impression everyone got. A few weeks later, Keffals would hire a private investigator to dox a Kiwi Farms user she thought doxed her and sent him photos of him and his parents. Except that's not him. So she just doxed a random guy. Keffals would claim that these are fake, but the guy proved it by linking it back to her Discord.
Keffals responded to this initial upload in a live stream where she appeared to be completely out of it.
Somebody then asks her about me and my video, and she quotes Lennon.
Are we gonna talk about the Willie Mac video? I would like to paraphrase the late Russian revolutionary Vladimir Lenin. Why should we bother to reply to Willie Mac? He would reply to us, and we would have to reply to his reply. There's no end to that.
The second part was released on March 26th, this time going over allegations surrounding her former partner, providing some insight into what exactly happened between the two and how it related to the GoFundMe situation.
And the truth is, I left the country because of my ex.
Her ex coerced her into intercourse, which I guess is where the title comes from, although she never goes into detail, but more importantly, it means her having to move away in her GoFundMe due to her doxers. All the articles claiming it was necessary to flee to Ireland due to imminent threats to her life, it's all a lie. She moved because of her ex, that's not what the money was raised for. This is fraud.
He also covers the controversies surrounding the Catboy Ranch Discord server, catching her in numerous contradictions and hammering home that he believed her to be an incredibly disingenuous and bad faith actor.
I noticed the new thing is they're saying that I'm teaching people how to make hormones in their bathtub, which just sounds insane.
That sounds difficult. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't know
how do you do that?
But it's not that far off. The HRT website she funded gives step-by-step instructions on how to make your own hormones, as well as the option to buy other people's homemade hormones. Her acting all sneaky about it makes it seem like she's doing something wrong.
This brings us to current day. As of writing, she is hemorrhaging subscribers while having a slow but steady decline in viewership. Whether she will continue to get into needless controversy or keep her word and avoid getting into major drama has yet to be seen. But her actions have undoubtedly scarred her reputation, with it being unclear if she can make a comeback and once again achieve the success she had previously enjoyed. With creators like Willie Mac creating concise yet extensive commentary videos about all her previous controversies, and the looming threat of some ordinary gamers creating a deep dive discussing the allegations that have been levied against her, it isn't looking too great for the once prominent transgender activist. And in an ironic twist, it looks like Kiwi Farms might outlive Keffals' online career.